Federal Polytechnic Oko Alumni Association institutes annual public lecture in honor of General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida retired. Nwobodo clarifies role on the Ekwueme through PDP presidential primary in Jos 1998 to end long-standing political saga. Federal Polytechnic Oko Alumni Association has instituted an annual public lecture in honor of General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, establishes IBB International Museum. Former head of state, Federal Republic of Nigeria, upgraded the then state-owned polytechnic to a federal establishment. Today's Federal Polytechnic Oko, a great citadel of learning. Professor Eugene Okoye Nwadialor, Vice Chancellor, Transition University Umunya, was the last rector at the then Anampoli, who transitioned to become the first rector of the Federal Polytechnic Oko. He was the public lecture presenter. In his well-detailed lecture, shared the developmental challenges the institution faced as Anampoli, its earliest stage as a federal establishment, commended his team of lecturers, who he described as very supportive, dedicated to ensure the growth stage of the institution was a success. Professor Nwadialor, in dealing with the theme of the lecture, Federal Polytechnic Oko and the pivotal role of General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida IBB, shared the unfathomable, selfless leadership of the former head of state, Babangida, applying lessons from the person of IBB, Federal Polytechnic before the advent of IBB, General IBB and his legacy of funding. Nwadialor commended the alumni for being proactive for this noble venture. He also commended his predecessors and successors for giving their best towards the growth, success of the Federal Polytechnic Oko.
When leaders are important, to try and leave a legacy. Like Babangida is being remembered for the legacy he left. He is not from this part of the country. Yeah, but when you mention Federal Polytechnic, he was.
His Excellency Senator Jim Ifeanyichukwu Nwobodo, former governor of the old Anambra State, one of the special guests of honor, ably represented by Dr. Dan Chukwu, a professor of history at the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, recalled that it was under the administration of Dr. Jim Ifeanyichukwu Nwobodo, the then governor of old Anambra State, that Anambra Polytechnic Oko Anampoli was upgraded to a diploma awarding college. With a digression on the subject matter, Dr. Jim Nwobodo delved into an age-long rumor surrounding his presidential outing and that of late Dr. Alex Ekwueme way back in Jos 1998, whose outcome had long been misunderstood by many among the Igbos. In his effort to clarify, he said, quote, "At a solemn occasion like this, holding at Oko, the land of nativity of Dr. Alex Ifeanyichukwu Ekwueme, it would be appropriate to correct some deep-rooted impression and bitterness among some die-hard Igbo bigots. This prejudice stems from the People's Democratic Party presidential primaries which held at the Jos Township Stadium in 1998, featuring Dr. Ekwueme, myself, and other presidential hopefuls. At the end of the primaries, when Dr. Ekwueme, along other contestants, lost to Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, in bracket, whom the military brass had anointed to placate the Yoruba, whose son, Chief Moshood K.O. Abiola, had previously been denied his presidential electoral victory in 1993. Some Igbo men and women at the stadium went home to sell the dummy that Jim Nwobodo was anti-Igbo and was opposed to Ekwueme's presidential ambition." End of quote. Dr. Jim Nwobodo further explained that Obasanjo's emergence was predetermined by the northern oligarchs and the military, an exercise he likened to the February 2023 presidential election. Quote, Over the years, this tissue of falsehood from the pit of hell has been peddled and swallowed hook, line, and sinker by some low and high in Igbo land. But could one person in the image of Jim Nwobodo have made or marred the presidential ambition of a fellow Igbo man at that time? The truth is that before the Jos Township exercise, the northern oligarchs and military had, like what happened in the 2023 presidential election, taken a decision about the zone and the person to succeed the retreating military government of General Abdulsalami Abubakar in the Fourth Republic, and for the period it was Obasanjo. Perhaps for reasons which are personal but which must be divulged here to free the minds of the shackled, it is important to stress the degree of closeness between Dr. Ekweme's family and my family. Come to think of it, on 22nd January 1994, it was Dr. Ekweme who chaired my wedding reception, the wedding which took place at the Cathedral Church of Christ, Anglican Communion, Lagos, which attracted the cream of the Nigerian society, politicians, statesmen, business moguls like Chief Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, Chief MKO Abiola, Abubakar Rimi, among many others. What may interest this audience is that till date, Akide, Chief Mrs. Beatrice Ekweme, the wife of Dr. Ekweme, has remained the godmother of my children. I have given the foregoing solemn account for reasons. The first is that my family and that of Dr. Ekweme have always had a bond of fraternity. Secondly, and arising from the above, is that I could not have stood on his way from actualizing his presidential dream, knowing fully well that such an actualization would have put paid to many years of the Igbo's marginalization in the Nigerian society. End of quote. Dr. Nwobodo thanked and encouraged the Federal Polytechnic Oko Alumni Association for this great venture. He, however, called on other higher institutions he contributed to either their establishment or growth to emulate Federal Poly Oko Alumni. Mr. Henry Nebe, the national president, Federal Polytechnic Oko Alumni Association, in his address expressed his gratitude to all leaders who made sacrificial contributions towards the growth, stability of the institution. He also called for the immortalization of the principal foundation leaders. He called on the rector, Engineer Dr. Francisca Onoma Nwafulugo, not to renege on her promise to ensure a convocation is held before her term in office elapses. Going forward, Nzenebe called for an alumnus rector in the event of succession, which is almost due in a matter of months.
You can see that the inaugural lecture series was done by the man who was here when it happened. You can see he was not reading from the book, he is telling you a life experience. And when we gave the first press interview, we said the ingenious Ibrahim Baramogo was and the making of Polytechnic. You can now hear him when he said a letter written approve was given, and that was the making. So coming here today, you can now really understand and know why this is important, so that people will be put in right perspective. You can see how historic it is, no matter it is on the sad note, because one of our special guests that was supposed to stay here today died yesterday. So if we had been able to capture him today, he would have been captured in this particular occasion. But to God be the glory, because he knows the best. So what we are trying to do here is that for the fact that this school was being underfunded, for the fact that this school was not attractive before Babangida came in 1992 and made it attractive, things changed. We are now bringing this lecture in his honor, so that we'll be having series. You can see where the rector was talking about MV Okoye. He is reminding us people that have passed through here, who are heroes, not people today. There are people that laid this foundation. We'll use this series to remember them and their exploits. That is the essence of this series. It's not about Babangida. Babangida is just named because he was the person God used to elevate this school to have a standing. Now, if we do that without putting it into archive, without storing it, one rector one day will come and bulldoze and throw away everything. Do you see any place, have you seen any building that have the name of Nwadialor here? Do you see any hall or anything here that bears the name of Lawrence Endo, the first ever principal, the first ever man to head this establishment. But you can go around now, you see names of even sitting people in building. Is it proper? You ask yourself the simple question. You can see the representative of Nwobodo, the person that made the first law that empowered this institution. Did you see any of his relics here? So that's what the alumni is trying to do. This is our own, and we must protect our own. We are not politicizing it. We are not getting into anybody's. No. But if you are doing the right thing, we say you are doing the right thing. If you are not doing the right thing, we say you are not doing the right thing. Last year we stayed this annual award. But when we found out when we are giving this award, if you give an award and you don't record your award, it is rubbish. The school is having challenges. But the challenges, human being will summon challenges. That's why we want to bring in the archives. For example, there is a logo of this school when it was casted. Do you know it? Does the students here know that when the school was casted, there was a logo? Do they even know that this school was once a pilot school for art and science? There were only 3 in Nigeria. Federal School of Art and Science, School of Art and Science, Goja. Yes. No, School of Goja and Suleja. They were the first 3 as pilot school. Before Nwobodo came here and made it a diploma institution. So if we do not keep these things in records, it will amaze you. Babangida came here and did all those things in 1992. We are in 2023. We can't even lay a hand in the picture of when he came here. I was the speaker of Student Union then. I was here. I was the speaker of Student Union. When Nwadialor was telling everybody what happened there, the chairman of this BOT today was the person that was in charge of the security of the students. And we make sure that no school, no student from another school enters here to spoil our show. And that's why he keep on mentioning that from 1992-93 back.
So in your keynote address, you made mention of the fact that this institution have not done any convocation for the last 5 years. What can you say is the result? It is the reason for that?
Now, I'm not talking about the last 5 years per se, so that you get it right. Why I mentioned the last 5 years was in 2019 when we have family shower here. Family shower was instituted by the alumni. Well, any new rector that comes into this institution, we bring the past rectors to come here and advise her. And we begged Badam, rector, the digital mummy, that for the past, if I tell you, it's a shame, but we have to say it. For the past 12 years, 12 to 30 years, we have not had a convocation. So can you imagine, when you do matriculation, you are admitting students, you tell the whole world the number of students you have admitted. Is it not true? Mm-hmm. Yes. When do you tell the number of, now she is doing, when she will be doing her valedictory, will she be able to tell people the number of students she has graduated if you didn't do convocation? You don't give certificate through the back door. You give your certificate in the public so that people will appreciate you. She still have time. We know there is paucity of fund, and I said it after that day here. The alumni, they wanted to increase the certificate fee. We said no. The alumni met with her, and she said there is paucity of fund. She can't do it without funds, and we agreed, and we reached a compromise, and the certificate was increased.
This first edition of the President IBB Annual Lecture had special awards also instituted. They include Polytechnic Ambassadors, Distinguished Lecturers, Best Graduating Students, and Polytechnic Veterans. Dr. Emmanuel Ezenwafo, Head of Department and a Principal Lecturer in the Department of Accountancy, Federal Polytechnic Oko, Group Triple Award. They include Polytechnic Ambassador, Most Distinguished Lecturer of the Department of Accountancy, and Most Distinguished Lecturer of the Federal Polytechnic Oko for the 2022-2023 academic session. Doc, congratulations on your multiple awards today.
Thank you.
First, the inauguration of the maiden and for the first of its kind, the IBB annual lecture. What's your take on that for the alumni?
It is a very striking and striking one, for that matter, for the alumni of Federal Polytechnic to institute that annual lecture series in memory of the man that made this place a federal polytechnic it is today. General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So the alumni in doing this is trying to just give credence to that singular act, because I know it could have been another person. It could have been another person. Even though there are other persons that could have not done that, but he was able to do that, pronouncing this place and giving it every paraphernalia to become a federal institution. And it has benefited immensely from then till now. And that is what the alumni of the Federal Polytechnic is recognizing.
And a double award. He became the most distinguished lecturer of the year.
I got triple award, not double.
Triple award,
Triple award, yes. Number one is the 2023 Polytechnic Ambassador. Then the second one is the outstanding lecturer in the Department of Accountancy. And the third one, the most distinguished lecturer in the entire Polytechnic. That is triple award for me.
How do you feel getting this triple award?
I feel very happy and recognized that I am being nominated and I received this award today. It is a call for more service and dedication to my duties. And it is an encouraging factor for me, because it shows that whatever thing you are doing, you must receive the reward. If you are doing good, people around you must dictate and know what you are doing. If you are equally doing bad, they will equally identify your flaws and they possibly reward you in that negative manner. But today's own is all positive for me. So I'm very happy.
Nwadialor shared a very distinctive sacrificial effort to bring in Okendi Igbo as at then. What do you think? Do we still have that kind of quality of selfless service representatives of the Igbos, as we see in Nwadialor, and trying to bring down this reward of making this school a federal institution?
Nwadialor is a genius of his own type. He was the rector. He transited this institution from a state-owned polytechnic to a federal institution. I want to tell you, he is from my own department, accountancy department. He was a lecturer in the Department of Accountancy here, where I'm presently the head of department. And I will tell you that, yes, he was committed, dedicated, and ensuring that what is due, not only to the Igbos, but to a greater part of, because when you narrow it down to the Igbos, you will make it to look sectional. This federal political local breeds intellectuals from all parts of the country. In my class, for instance, there are people from Maiduguri, Borno State, people from Nasarawa and other parts of the country. So it is a pan-Nigeria affair. What the question you ask, I will redirect it to asking to know if we still have people who are dedicated, who are committed, who are selfless to ensure that whatever thing they do must not benefit them unlimited, but to benefit their generation. Yeah. Yes, there are still people like that, only if opportunity is being given to them. Because what is happening these days is that you may see people that are less qualified selected, where people that are more qualified will be allowed to be lying there, watching, being observers.
Thank you very much, Doc. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
For the former governor of Anambra State, Dr. Chukwuemeka Eziife, whose death occurred one day to this great event, was slated to be in attendance as special guest of honor. A 1-minute silence was observed for him by the participants.
May the soul of His Excellency Dr. Eziife Okwadike, our former governor, through the mercy of God, continue to rest in peace. Amen. Thank you. Please take your seats. Thank God for him. And before he started the lecture, he pleaded with us. He came in yesterday. Not only him, with a team from Tansia University, where he currently serves as the Vice Chancellor. They've been with him since yesterday up to this moment. What a sacrifice. You can imagine today without him. So glad for him. So the president say after thanking you that while we go into presentation of our awards, he has assigned myself and the BOT chair to see you off so that he will hold the stage. And in same vein, let me convey special thanks to the Federal Commissioner, Public Complainant Commission, Anambra State, Mrs. Nwadialor, for finding time to come. We appreciate your presence. We appreciate the sacrifice.
I see it as a lifetime opportunity. I thank God I was here. First of all, it's an opportunity to identify the such his type is not and what he has done, what he's doing, what he has done, the legacy he has left is something worth celebrating. And the history of Popoli came about and the efforts they made for the establishment of this school, of the institution. I thank God for people like him, and I believe that, and I encourage the management to celebrate, or the society to celebrate people like him. Effortlessly, selflessly, putting their best to see that success is achieved.
It is an event worthy of happening. It has been long overdue, and I thank God because IBB played a very important role in the upliftment and the existence and survival of this project. So the annual lecture is what event. That is the spirit we had at that point in time from the Igbo leadership. But what it has meant, that is history. So we thank God that at the moment, thank God at the moment things are changing. So that is it.
How do you feel about the award you received?
Well, first and foremost, I thank my family. I dedicate the awards to my family because I more or less decided to initially to, refuse the award, but they convinced me and advised that I should accept the award. Again, about the award, especially at this point in time, I was almost exiting from the service. So it is really a good omen to me. I thank God for that. I thank God. I thank the alumni, and I thank the staff of Applied Science, School of Applied Science, and the Department of Science Laboratory for recommending me for this. It is not easy, and it is important that it's a lesson to people that when you are serving the public, you should serve with all your heart and sincerity. Because you don't know where you'll be tomorrow. You don't know whom you're going to meet tomorrow. So that is this. So it's service to humanity. That is it.
My name is Nwobodo Stephen, boss at Federal Polytechnic Oko. And in this occasion, I'm representing the rector. I'm also an awardee. This school has seen a lot of administrations and alumni leaders, but we are particularly happy with the present leaders of this alumni association. The crop of leadership we have there are very effective and efficient. The Polytechnic is growing from strength to strength, as we heard from the professor Nwadialor, who was incidentally one of the pioneer rectors. He explained everything how it has been. We were here when Babangida came, and we have been here. God has been on our side. By the grace of God, we thank God we are alive to witness what is happening here today. We thank God. The Polytechnic is growing from strength to strength.
Despite appraiser for the present alumni, they didn't find it funny punching the rector, saying that for 5 years now she has refused to conduct a convocation or even graduate students. Because even the language news we hear is he refused to graduate students.
And there are allegations that funds are being paid by students even increased
fees from 10,000 to
25,000
for their certificate so that they will have convocation, but they didn't hold. What could be the possible distance? And are you promising that in the next 2 months before his official resignation, retirement
from service?
Because it has been, despite all her achievements, this seems to be a big dent.
It has been a very difficult task, but I promise you by the grace of God, before this current administration, the rector quiz, there will be convocation. I'm talking from the management point of view. We're working hard to see that being achieved.
But what can you say is the problem? Why this has not happened?
It's positive fund.
5 years.
Okay.
Nothing but positive fund. And that we're trying the much we can to surmount it.
Leaders who also played key roles in the formation and transformation of the institution, late Dr. Alexander Ifeanyi, the former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and late Ben Nwabeze, SAN, a foremost constitutional lawyer, were given a 1-minute silence as well.
So that you know her as the Polytechnic librarian. But this particular award of the Polytechnic ambassador is because she was nominated by Oka branch. You can see her branch banner here.